Dear IMPAC 2022 participants and organizers, good day to you all. I am Jocelyn Guadalupe from the UP College of Music. I am sharing my presentation entitled Learning Differently, Selected Filipino Music Educators' Alternative Music Education Experiences during the COVID-19 pandemic. For a brief background, the first case of COVID 19 was recorded on January 30, 2020, in the Philippines. Then President Duterte declared a public health emergency on March 9, 2020. During this time, schools were closed and classes were moved to distance learning mode. Modules were printed by the Department of Education, DepEd, division offices, which were then collected by parents from teachers in schools. These modules were answered by the students at home and were collected by the parents once more and submitted in school. Blended learning modes were developed after some time with private schools employing online learning management systems. The blended learning modalities, online or printed modules, were employed in the next year from August 2020 onward. Last March 2022, the Philippine government relaxed alert levels and a gradual transition to limited face to face classes was implemented in selected schools that met the stringent requirements of the government. The presentation is a qualitative study using an online focus group discussion of music educators from the Philippine Society for Music Education. The FGD was conducted last April 2022. In the FGD, the 12 music educators shared their experiences in handling online music education since 2020, and since April 2022, the transition to limited face to face teaching of music in schools, music studio, therapy clinic, and the community music ensemble called the Rondalia. In detail, the 12 FGD participants included music teachers teaching in private preschools, administrators, which included an elementary school principal who was also a community rondalia trainer, a senior high school principal, and a music education outsourcing company director. There was also a public high school special program for the arts, junior high school music teacher, a science junior high school MAPE or music, art, PE, and health teacher, senior high school teachers, choir director, and a music therapist. During the focus group discussion conducted last April 2022, the music educators were asked what the challenges they encountered in teaching music online for the past 2 years and the limited face to face music classes that were conducted when the Philippines relaxed the COVID alert levels last March 2022. Most of the participants answered that challenging issues to music education online was one, program change in terms of goals, competencies, activities, and assessment. Two, learning management of music performance, challenged by a lack of music resources at home. And three, a lack of student socialization and connection, leading to student frustration and their incomplete task submission. Music performance was really affected because there was latency in performing synchronous musical tasks online. Due to limited engagement in doing musical tasks together online, confidence in music performance was affected for both students and teachers. Outdoor music lessons in the limited instrumental face to face music classes were effective, especially for younger learners. But these were done after March 2022 when the alert levels were lowered. There were changes in the nature of music subject requirements for both online and limited face to face music classes as a result of the pandemic. For safety protocols, singing together was done individually online or with masks when in limited face to face classes or rehearsals. The teachers identified when submitting singing videos online the process of collecting and editing these into making it as a whole production was challenging for the music teacher. Socialization activities were important preliminary activities in face to face resumption of music classes. Music served as a way to connect students and teachers alike, an important factor not fully realized in online music education. Younger learners found challenges in learning numeracy and literacy online, whereas music skills in playing together and singing as a group also suffered. Teachers were also challenged in various ways when teaching music online. These vignettes describe the challenges to online music education physically, mentally, and emotionally. We can see here teacher A had physical challenges as a result of long term computer use. Teacher D noted that the students had back to zero rondalia playing skills, whereas teacher C said that a lot of the effort and work in online music education was doubled because although there are asynchronous tasks after curriculum mapping and planning, there is still a need for the teacher to spend time checking the video submissions. Teacher L identified that it was important to look after the teacher's well being. Again, Teacher D noted the children's literacy was lower in online learning, especially in Key Stage 1, which is grades 1 to 3. A lot of the teachers' challenges to online music education were focused on administrative challenges related to internet connection and the scheduling due to the music, art, physical education, and health for component subject. There were also problems in assessment as well as teacher pre-service preparation for online music methods that was not previously taught. Teacher G says the college music education students were required to do their practicum. While they were taught to teach music face to face, they now needed to know how to teach music online, which was a problem. Teacher F said music as part of MAPE Online meets twice a month only, with many students not submitting anything, even with constant reminders, even to their parents. Because of the no fail policy, we cannot fail them. It gives the wrong message. Teacher E also had problems with students connecting to the virtual chorus app as well as the band lab because of connection lag. Whereas Teacher A said, one realization for us is that our goals have to be different in this online platform. Who said anything about assessment? We have no assessment. As long as kids participate and you can see that they're enjoying the time, that's success for me. Online music education also had its benefits, according to the music educators. Some teachers could adjust by setting up their music studios or helping students with their music setup at home. Some of them had their students bring their rondalia instruments at home for practice, whereas others employed differentiated instruction when assessing the students. Pre recorded lessons also help the students review important points, while edited music performances, as shown as music productions, taught teachers to be sound engineers. In this way, students honed their skills developmentally and enjoyed watching their performances instead of worrying about live performance on stage. Teacher Jay said, acquired resources for online learning of pre recorded instruction, especially on technique and practice aids, was very helpful. Sometimes, face to face, the children's focus wanders and forget what was taught. If you have a video, they can review it, play it slower, faster, or play along with it. There was also the luxury of online classes, as pointed out by Teacher C, especially for older learners who are used to it. The online setup was beneficial in showing auditory music examples, said Teacher H. The sentiments of the music educators regarding online music education were mostly neutral, with many of them positively receptive to the resumption of limited face to face music classes. In their limited face to face classes, they noted music classes as tools for socialization and engagement to unlearn behaviors brought about by online classes. While there are apprehensive parents as the virus is still present, the teachers note their students' excitement to sing and play safely together in music class and rehearsals. Given the challenges and possibilities identified with online music education, the shift toward gradual face to face music class is not without its challenges. The challenges to limited face to face classes are also numerous, especially the protocols that have to be observed, the expensive requirements to high flex learning, and the staggered scheduling of students due to social distancing purposes. For music educators passionate about music, there are navigations to exercise their agency. And here we read some of their navigations. Teacher D said, last year in 2021, we went house to house and asked the kids to sing, to integrate and incorporate music at home. That way, music is lived by students studying here at DepEd. Teacher E said, I buy a personal load on my phone and open my cell phone in class so that students at home can experience what their classmates experience in the music classroom. Teacher D also concluded, for schools that opened, the schools became better because of the community's active shared responsibility and shared governance. The community helped along with the parents who were excited after 2 years of schools being closed. As a summary, there exist the challenges and possibilities of online music education according to the selected music educators. The online music education possibilities are dependent on technological affordances and the teacher's ability to do individual differentiated instruction. The challenges to online music education are the lack of resources, the socialization factors associated with music classes, and the togetherness and connection brought about by actual music making together, which is not possible online. Limited face to face music classes have their own set of challenges as well, such as scheduling of staggered classes, expensive high flex learning, and the protocols for limited face to face music activities. The teachers make use of various navigational strategies, such as regular communication across levels, the deployment of community partnerships, and their own personal exercise of agency in their classroom activities to meet the objectives of instruction. Synthesis. The study presented how music educators experienced a dramatic change in general music instruction from accepted music educational pedagogical training. This as a result of the move to various learning modalities due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The presentation focused on select public and private school music educators' navigation of the online and high flex music education in terms of planning and implementing instruction, conducting alternative assessments, using various technologies in music sessions, and processing their feelings and emotions during the year of pandemic teaching and learning and the transition toward gradual limited face-to-face music classes. The methods employed involved focus group discussion online among selected music educators. This was followed by the thematic analysis via in vivo qualitative software. While the findings are not generalizable to general music education as a whole, these findings implicate the changing nature of forms of music education affected by paradigm shifts brought about by the pandemic. The policy changes implied for educational state institutions such as the Department of Education in crafting music education programs that reflect these changing philosophies and the challenges predicated upon tertiary music education pre-service training in the delivery of basic education music curriculum. The findings presented here have implications for the emergence of contemporary forms of basic music education pedagogies in the performing arts in and as a result of the COVID-19 era. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation.